Good evening, everyone. So today we are going to end our MongoDB session. So basically, I have already covered all the topics, like we have executed all the queries in our terminal, and also we have just done it through VS Code. So today I will tell you about MongoDB Atlas part. So let me just share my screen first. So yeah, now it is visible, I hope. So in today's session, we are basically going to cover MongoDB Atlas, that how we can create a cluster on that MongoDB Atlas part and how we can use it in our VS Code. Okay. And every other topics, I hope you have already covered it through the previous sessions. So without wasting any time, let's start with it. Okay, so first of all, MongoDB Atlas. Why we need MongoDB Atlas? I have already told you that MongoDB Atlas is basically a platform which provides you the storage for creating your database in cloud, right? Why we need it? Because right now through MongoDB Compass, we were particularly using our, you can say local storage, right? But as we have to go over cloud so that we can maintain that storage over there. So for that, I use MongoDB Atlas so that on cloud, I will get some storage or requirements CPU, RAM, etc. as per any plan. Okay, so that for that use, we have to go to MongoDB Atlas. So I will just use here MongoDB Atlas. Okay, now if I continue, yeah, so just a second. And you can see you have to create your account first in this platform. Okay. I have already created it. So just I have signed in over there. So you will see an interface like this. Something like this will come at your end when you will just refresh it. Okay. What you have to do, let's try to understand that first. So first of all, this organization is mentioned here. Let me tell you that what does this organization mean? So organization basically tells that suppose if you are working in a company, right? There are 4 to 5 members in your team and you are working on a group project. So if someone of you wants to access this database, then instead of creating 5 different database, you will do one thing, that you will create an organization, you will add team members in that organization, and then just create a separate database for it. Like just create a project and all the members in that organization can have the access to it. Okay. So what I'm going to do here for your information, let me tell you that we are going to create a new project. So here, when you click over this MongoDB Atlas, something like this will get opened. So you have to create an organization. By default, it will create one for you. You have to go to the project part over here, all projects, and create a new project. So what they are asking, you have to just tell them, name your project, sorry. Project name has to be unique within the organization, and other restrictions means, so project name must be unique, that will not exist in your previous projects, right? So I am giving it a name, suppose MongoDB Atlas. This name I am giving. Right now, add tags, optional tags are there. You can use the tag for it also, but we are not going to add additional tag. Just I have given the name as MongoDB Atlas to my project. Okay. As I have clicked over there, can you see it is showing this mail ID as the project owner. So that is by default your ID and your email ID through which you have created the account. And now you are the project owner. So just create this project. And once you click on this create project button, I am hovering over it. So you will see an interface like this. What is this interface? That MongoDB Atlas, the project is created. You can see over here also, project is there. Now we are going to create a cluster. Now let's understand that what is a cluster, then we are going to create it. So basically, cluster is a particular container on which you are going to host your database, on which you are going to host a particular database. Okay, so that is a cluster. Cluster is basically provides you a platform on which you can host your database. So let's try to create it. So as I have clicked on that create button, you can see it is asking for few questions like deploy your cluster. So it is showing me three interfaces, right? How many interfaces are there? Three: M10, Flex, and free one. So right now, as our requirement is not much, so we are going to use a free cluster over there. Okay. So for this M10, right, they are showing you that $0.08 per hour. What it will provide us? Storage of 10 GB, RAM of 2 GB, and virtual CPUs accordingly. Then for Flex, it is more premium. So here you can see instead of storage, not premium, it is the downgraded version of the M10. See here what is happening. The storage is 5 GB, the RAM is shared, and the CPU is shared. Now, if we have to select the free one, we are going to just click on that. What it will provide? A storage of 512 MB, RAM is shared, and the CPU is shared. Now, let me tell you, you were thinking that 512 MB must be very small, but not, because MongoDB stores all the data in JSON format, right? And JSON basically takes very less storage. Okay, so that's why 512 MB is enough. So this is one thing. Now you can name a cluster according to you. So here cluster 0 is there. I can change it up to my use, like demo. Suppose I want my cluster name to be demo. So I have given it a name demo. Now this is a provider that nearby Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, and Azure, out of which platform you are choosing. Why we have to choose a platform? Because we want it to be hosted on cloud, right? So these are the three providers which will provide us that space so that we can use it. Now we have to select region. So by default, they have selected it Mumbai. So as we are from India, and we have to select the nearby, you can say provider region. So we have selected it as Mumbai. Okay. And then what you have to do? Nothing. Just you can see here, create deployment. Okay. At last there is create deployment. I just click over here. As soon as I have clicked over there, can you see a interface like this is coming at my screen? What they are saying, let me tell you first. Add a connection IP address. Now, this is like if you are creating a database, there is some privacy, right? You don't want that anyone can access that database. So there is the IP address privacy there, that only a ID IP having my local host or my local IP can have the access to this particular database. So if I have to change it, I have to access it publicly, then I will change the IP and I can change the connection IP at that particular time. But right now, as only I want to access this database, so through this IP, I can do that. This is my local system IP. Okay, this is one thing. Now, what we have to see, create a database user. So there is your database. So there must be a user, then only you can access that, right? So here they are showing me that username is this and password for this is something like this. They have randomly given it. So I am going to use right now this for my connection string. Okay, so what is I'm just copying it. Okay, and here if I click create database user, it is created. Now if I ask for choose the connection method, then it will show me something like this. First one is driver, then there is compass, then there is shell, MongoDB for VS Code, and Atlas SQL. So we are going to access through drivers. Okay. So what should happen if we are going to connect the string with driver? It will provide us that how we can connect our Node.js, okay, with the MongoDB. So for that, we are going to use driver, which is a connection method. Okay. What it is saying that whenever you have to run this, you have to first install MongoDB, and this is your connection string. This is the string which we have to use where instead of the string which we were using previously. What was the string we were using previously? 127.0.0, whatever we are getting from Mongo SH, right? So instead of that, now we have to use this string. So do you now compare both of them, that how we have to use it and where we have to use it? This string is basically now the one which have my database connection. if I click over here on done, the cluster is created at my end. So if I go to MongoDB Atlas and just a second, if I create cluster, it will load. So flex, just a second. Let me, okay, we have already created a cluster. So the demo cluster is created at our end. You can see it. The demo cluster is coming. Right now, we haven't connected anywhere. We can see the connection string from here. This is the connection string for us. Just copy it. This is important. Okay, this you have to pass whenever you have to execute anything through Atlas. Correct. So this is basically MongoDB setup, MongoDB Atlas setup, that how you can create a cluster, how you can create a connection string, how to copy it. As a user, you can give your default password when they were saying that username and password thing. Okay, clear. Now we are going to move to VS Code and we will see that how and where we were using Mongo SHURL right there. Okay, then I will tell you. So here you can see in the yesterday session, we were using this URL. This URL is basically connected to our local system. Okay, so whatever database we are creating through it, it is connecting in our local system. But when I use the MongoDB string URL over here, that we were getting it from here, if I use this one instead of that one, then what it will do, it will create the database in the cloud. Okay, so that will not take my memory of my system. Okay, it will be hosted on cloud, and that is important when we are creating a large project or anything, when we have to create so that everyone can access that. Okay. Good. I hope that it is clear to you. So you can also try it. You can also create a connection string at your end. Now what we will do, we'll basically try to write the program through which we can connect our MongoDB Atlas also, and we can cross check it, that how and where we can see the data, right? That we have to also see, right? So here I will tell you that how you can see the data inside a MongoDB Atlas. So for that we have to insert the data. So we are going to do that soon. Just a second, and then we will. Okay, so now let's start. Let's try to understand that how we can use that string over here and how we can check all these things in our MongoDB Atlas. Okay, so before that, let me also tell you one thing. Let's see in this connection string, what is there? This is the username, and here is the password, the default password which you have saved at your end. Okay, that you have to use over here. And app name is demo, means whatever the cluster name is, that is basically over here. So they are saying that replace DB password with the password of this user. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to replace this with the actual password. So I will do that when we will move to VS Code. So that you have to make sure that you know the password, that what password you have used. Okay, then only you can do that. Okay, now let's try to like I am going to create a new folder only so that we can write the code accordingly. Once again, so what I will do, I will just close this folder. I will create a new one with the name MongoDB Atlas so that you can have an idea that how to use it also. Okay, MongoDB Atlas is already there. I have to change the name. MongoDB Atlas, select folder. The folder name is not valid. Okay, new folder. And here I can give the name. Just a second. MongoDB Atlas. And if I select it now, it is selected. Here we are with the new folder, right? What things I have to do over here? First of all, I will create a index.js file, which will have all my code so that I can run it accordingly. Then I will open the terminal. What I have to do, I have to install a package.json. So for that, the command is npm init-y. It will load my modules over here. Package.json is here. And now I will install MongoDB. npm install MongoDB. As soon as I have done this, you can see in packet.json, a dependency will be added. So it is taking time. Yeah, a dependency is added with the name MongoDB, and for that, the module is also installed for them. Right? That is done. This setup is quite easy for you now. Let me clear the terminal. And now what we are going to do? Now we are going to write the code so that we can connect our MongoDB accordingly. Okay, so let's try to do that. So mostly things are same. Suppose const, just a second. In index.js, we are going to write our code. Yeah. So const, then what I have to use so that we can connect our Node.js with MongoDB, Mongo client. So it is Mongo client and just access that, right? Then what I have to do now, it is suggested that whenever you are sharing your credentials, as you know that Mongo Atlas string is basically having my username as well as password. So instead of directly passing that URL over here, we create a .env file. I will tell you that how we create a .env file. What does it mean by a .env file? But to access something from there, we have to basically import that. So I am writing the code first, then I will explain you that how the things are working. Okay, that is done. Now I will do const client equals. Let me just give me 2 seconds. New MongoDB client, and it will have the access to my MongoDB URI. Like space and just close it. Yeah, process.env and MongoDB URI will be there. Now I will create a function. I will tell you about these two lines just in a while. Okay. Mm, and that is quite easy. I will just tell you. Instead of this, what we were doing previously, that we were providing here a URL link, and that link we were passing over here, right? This thing we were doing. But instead of those two things, I am doing something like this. I will tell you that why we are doing it and how we can see that how it is useful. So I am creating a asynchronous function with the name connectdb same. Okay, now what to do? Now just have try catch block. Okay, just a second. Just a second. We will wait for client to connect as it is giving me suggestion. So I will just make it and then console it. Console.log. What to console? Connected to MongoDB. Okay, that is done. Now after that, what we have to do? The try catch will now return me my database. Return client.db and make it a function. Okay. Okay, that is done. Then after try, we have to mention catch also, so that in case of any error, it will execute the catch block. Here it is. In catch block, console.log connection failed. Console.error connection failed, or whatever you want to write, you can give it over here. Okay. And at last, what I have to do? I have to call my function. Okay. Right. What is the function name? It is connectdb. So connectdb. First of all, we are basically checking that is it code working or not. Then I will export it as we were doing it in the previous session also. Now the code is written. Let me explain you what is happening in this particular context. First of all, you are using Mongo client, so that's why you have imported it from MongoDB. Now, this is something .env. Now, what does it mean? .env is basically a file. So, if I have to create it, I will create it over here, .env. Now, this file is something which we are not going to push to our GitHub repository. It contains all the credentials like password, user ID, email ID, or whatever you want to add. Like if there are payment integration type of API keys and security level things, anything you think that it like harm your security level, so that you provide over here in .env file. Okay, so to access this .env file, basically we require this command require.env.config. So that means that whatever is written inside my .env file, I can have the access for it. Now what is happening through this? Process.env MongoDB URI. So what should happen through this? This MongoDB URI is a variable which contain, if I go over here, this is basically something where I have to put, what I have to put? The connection string which I have copied. So this was my connection string. I have copied it over here. Okay. So what is happening? That like this, you have to give them the connection string. So just close it. App name is demo. Like this, you can give the connection string. Okay. Clear? I have changed my password. So you can see the password is coming over here. So you can also do that at your end. Now in env file, you have mentioned this URL. If I move to index.js, what should happen through process.env? What they will do, they will access the MongoDB URL variable value through this process.env from this env file. So that means you have write this in here. Okay, so MongoDB URI value will be fetched. Now, this makes the code much cleaner. Also, it enhances the security for your credentials, right? That is done. Now, what should I have to do? Now, I have created a function connectdb. What it will do? It will first wait that my Node.js will connect to my MongoDB. Now, what should happen? That after that, I am making sure that it will console me that connected to MongoDB, that connection is established, and you have to use return client.db. Means what you are doing here, you are creating a database at your end. Okay, done. So now here what is happening? Catch error, that if in case there will be any error, you can handle that. Now let's try to execute it. How to execute it? Node space index.js. This is the command to execute it. If I execute it, can you see connected to MongoDB? This console is working. That means that everything is working fine and they have fetched the MongoDB URI also. Now I will try to insert some data and that code we are going to write. So just a second, let's create a separate file with the name insert data.js, insert data.js, and we will write the code here. What we have to do? Const connectdb, and here I have to give the name of a file where the code for connectdb is written, right? So I can give it. After that, I will create a function which we were doing also in the previous session. All the things are same, just you are changing the connection string. So that's why I'm only telling you about that so that you can check it. Insert data. Now what you to do? Const db equals to await connectdb. And after that, you have to mention a collection that first of all create a collection, and inside that collection you can do anything, right? So const student equals to db dot collection, and now mention the collection name which is students. Okay, my caps lock on, so no problem in that. Okay, this is done. Let me use it as this db dot collection only. Yeah, just mention it. Okay, that we have done. Now after the collection, what I have to do? I have to insert the value, right? So let's try to insert it. Like, let's create an array. We will push some value inside them, and then through insert many, we directly insert that. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I will just student, and I will create an array for it, which have some values. Values like name, alias, age 21. These are coming at my end. So I am just going to use it. Okay. After using this, what I have to do? Yeah, that is done. After the using that, I have to insert them, right? So here is the command. If I do it, await students dot insert many, means inside my student collection, you have to insert multiple values. And what are the values? The values are already declared in the students array. Okay, so we have done that. Now, what to do? After inserting it, let's console something, that console.log document inserted or data inserted successfully. Console.log, and here we can provide data inserted. Okay, that we have done. Now what to do? Just close it. It is closed. Okay. And call the function insert data. Just a second. Okay, and then we will execute it. Okay. So you can see here, let me just tell you that what we have done, we just have called our connectDB function where it was mentioned. After that, what we have done, we have created a insert data function. We have already done this in the previous lecture, and all the things are same. Just created an array and pushed all the documents through insert many, right? That we have done. Now you can see if I call this insert data function, then it will be executed, right? So let's execute it. Okay, this is done. Now how to call it? For calling it, we have to use node space, the name of file. What is the file name? Insert data. Insert data.js. If I press enter, you can see it is showing me that data is inserted. So let's go to our Atlas and let's see that what they have inserted, right? Just refresh it. So it is refreshed. And here we are going to check browse collection. Click on browse collection. So here you can see that was empty, right? We have just created it. Dismiss. If I, you can see here coming a database name demo. So I will just click inside demo. Then there is the students collection. Inside this test, there is this students collection, right? So we will move to students collection. And in most students collection, you can see what I am getting. Name Alice, age 21. The data is entered over here. The interface is same as your MongoDB Compass. Just the difference is that Compass is basically for local system, for a local storage, and Atlas is cloud platform, cloud-based platform. So you are using the cloud storage right now. Okay. And every idea you have that how the things work, how you can add something, how you can do other things. So what I have done, let me tell you one more time. In .env, I have just mentioned my name of, you can see the username is entered over here, the password is entered over here. After that, then this @demo and cluster name is demo, and also my database name is demo. So that is created for me. And when I move to index.js, here I have write the code that how to connect the string with MongoDB. So for that we have written this bit of code. Through this, what is happening? Through this, basically what they are doing, they are connecting your Node.js and MongoDB. And this is the process.env method. Why we use it? So that our credentials will remain secured. This file is not pushed to the GitHub. When you upload the code to GitHub, this .env file is basically something which will, you can just ignore this. Okay, like using git ignore command, you can make sure that this file will not be pushed to your GitHub account. So that's it for this one. And that's how it will be secured from the public servers, right? Then insert data. In insert data, what we have done, we have just inserted these two datas. Where we have inserted it? So in the students collection, we have created a collection having name students, and inside that it is inserted, right? So here you can check it also that this is the demo cluster for you, and inside this there is a database named test, and when you will click over here in test, then here comes your documents. Clear? I hope it is clear to you. So now you know that from where we have made this test database, because I have mentioned that whenever we were creating that cluster, so I have mentioned that my database name will be test and my cluster name will be demo. So that's what it asked. And that's why we have not mentioned any database name over here. We are just using that and connecting that. I hope it is clear to you. And this is what we have to cover in today's session, and your MongoDB is done. All the things which you have to write in MongoDB is in JSON format, JavaScript object notation. You can see the document is in JSON format. From these things, you can do all the things. If I go over here, if suppose you want to make that everyone can access your database, so for that you have to move to Just a second, let me see. If you go on a particular project, suppose a project name for now is MongoDB Atlas. If I go over here, right here it is. If I check the network access, here you can see the network access is database and network access is coming. Just go over there. Right now, only one user is there. You can see Bhuvit Kumar is right now the user. And if I want to add a new database user, I can add that. Okay, like using my password, that what is the authentication password, I can add those users over here. I can define their roles also. Okay, so this is how, if you are sharing a database, like if you are creating a project and 4 or 5 members are there, so you can do it. Then IP access list, that how through how many IP this can be accessed. So right now only for my IP it is accessible. So if you want to add another IP, you can use 0.0.0.0. What it will do, it will basically give the access to everyone whoever can use this database. So that's why it is a public IP, 0.0.0.0/0. Okay, so this is it. From here, you can give IP address listing them. And I have already told you that how you can give them database access. So in after database access, there is through network access, that who can access your database, that you can also do from here. Okay, clear everyone? I hope it is clear to you. So we have seen how we can have MongoDB queries, how we can use them, how we can connect everything to VS Code. So in upcoming session, we are going to continue with the integration part. In integration part, basically, we are going to write the code for front end first, then for back end, then we'll connect them, both of them using cores, so that your front end and back end will run simultaneously and you will know the concept of integration. Okay, here it is. So this is it for you. Again, if you want me to show that how we can create a new project, so this is the way. Just select over here in a new project, enter the project name. Suppose if you want to enter, so let's enter week 5. Just enter, just do next. It will tell you that what accessibility you want to give to this particular user. So right now it is selected as project owner. So just create the project. It will start creating the project at your end. After that, what you can do, after these things, you have to create a cluster. I have already mentioned the step to create a cluster that you can use the free version of it, which will provide you 512 MB of storage with the shared RAM and shared memory or CPU. Okay, so that you can do. I hope that all these things are clear to you now. And in upcoming session, just we have to see the integration, and at last we will see the deployment. So that's it for today's session. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you have understood about the concept of MongoDB Atlas, that how it is similar with Compass, and in which basis it is different from MongoDB Compass. Clear? Okay. So thank you. Have a nice day. Happy learning.